Hello everyone, welcome to the first of this week's GT Sport Daily AC race reviews from Circuit de la Sarthe in Le Mans. We're in the Redbull X2019 competition, and by God, I've got a little bit of a bleep show for you in this one. 5 laps to get around, just the racing hard tyres available, no mandatory rules on tyres or pit stops, so just a sprint race for the third week in a row. Hopefully PD are going to deliver some strategy for the race next week. One thing I do hope they keep though, I'm liking these grid starts with the full start check. Just makes the first lap a lot more dynamic and interesting. A little bit of carnage in there as well. Keeps the field nice and close together, and also that opportunity to make up some positions at the start is always welcome. So let's get this one underway. We flick traction control onto 1. I'm getting told it's actually better to start in second gear, but we're in first gear. The lights go out, we are racing, and yep, 5 seconds later we are in the wall and facing backwards. So yeah, definitely not the best start I've ever had. Looks like there's a few other cars have also ran into trouble. Qualify LOL there, who we often race on the American server, has also came a cropper. Should mention that we're on the Womble Sheriff account on the US server once again. Let's take a look at that start. Let's see what actually happened. It looks like P9 forgot to put traction control on to start. P10 then goes to try and go round them. P9 actually loses the car, spins into us, hits us into the wall. Qualify is then basically faced with a car broadside at the start of the race, and 4 cars are spinning out and trying to get underway and doing donuts on the start finish straight, literally 10-15 seconds into the race. I think the replay camera demonstrates that pretty well. Look at these cars all trying to get themselves facing the correct way. An absolute bleep show, no two doubts about it, but yeah, I guess it's to be expected. It all came from one car just forgetting to put traction control on at the start. We've all been there, let's face it. We've all forgot to put traction control on, hit the accelerator in an extremely high powered car, and gone sideways and caused a little bit of carnage. I couldn't stop laughing though, I have to say. When I watched back the replay and that, I was in absolute hysterics at what had happened. But yeah, you know, you've got to take the rough with the smooth in these races sometimes. But anyway, let's get back underway. Let's see if we can recover from that rather disastrous start. There's also going to be a little bit of carnage in this one. So onto the Mulsanne straight here for the first time. We are going 3 wide down into the first chicane. We have the best position here, but we are just not the bravest on the brakes, it would appear. And the Mexican, who has also ran into some kind of trouble at some point in this race, has managed to kind of fight around the outside. A little bit of elbows out from us though, because yeah, looked like it was going to be one of these races where elbows were going to be important, but the Mexican was always going to get the run on his back down towards the second chicane here. So they're going to go up the inside, and I'm going to actually just let them go because there's no point in fighting this one anymore. So into the second chicane we come. The yellow flags come in. It's almost like GT Sport has a little bit of a Mystic Meg moment, because I don't see why the yellow flags were out, but it was almost like it predicted the Mexican was going to have a little bit of an accident. Hits that curb on the inside, tries to accelerate on the curb. We did warn about that in the guide yesterday, that those curbs are absolutely lethal in this car when you try and accelerate out, and you're going to see just how lethal in very, very short order. Meanwhile, up ahead, further chaos going on. We've got the Argentine driver here, of the FCO driver. We're going to pass him on the inside. I don't know what this straight's called, to be honest with you. On Circuit de la Sarthe, I'm not entirely sure what its official name is. I'll need to look that one up. For some reason, the Panasonic straight is kind of coming to mind, but I could well just be pulling that out of the proverbial. So with all the chaos, we're back up into P12 here, which is not too bad given the start that we had. However, all that hard work was about to be unfolded here, as the Argentine we just passed just misses a braking point into our nage and hits us off the track once again. So another instant there, and that was us back down to P15. So we're in the slipstream here of the Mexican as we head down towards the Porsche curves. And it looks like they actually ran into the back of Big Dub there. We're going to go for a bit of an ambitious move. 3 wide into what is essentially a full throttle corner is not a good idea, so we back out of that one. And ultimately all we end up doing is actually costing ourselves another position to Dwight. Didn't see him till very, very late there, but yeah, just caught them on the edge of the radar just as we were kind of coming into the second of the Porsche curves, and managed to just about give them enough space. So coming down onto the Mulsanne straight here, we've got a little bit of a gap to actually carry a little bit of speed. Dwight goes wide, so he's going to pick up a penalty. There's an elbows out moment up ahead, and again we're going to get very, very cheeky here and try and go down the middle of everyone. It all gets a little bit messy, I think it's fair to say. We end up giving Kuss here a little bit of a bump draft, but I just wanted to get by these cars and try and recover this race in some way, shape or form. We're going to take a look down the inside here, but yeah, Cruz we managed to outbrake us once again, and we're going to pay maybe a little bit of karma for our cheeky move, because we failed to take our own advice. We get our right hand wheels up on the exit curb there of the first chicane and lose control of the car, put the car into the wall and lose a lot of time, and now we're all of a sudden back down in 15th place. So we've certainly been in the wars for the first lap and a half of this one, to the instance not really of our own doing, but that last one definitely self-inflicted. It was time to try and recover this in some way, shape or form, see if we can maybe get a top 10. Obviously plenty of carnage still to come, no doubt, with this race, because this car is extremely difficult to drive, but it's even harder to race because it's just so clunky at slow speed. Collisions and kind of spins are always going to be inevitable. So we catch back up with the pack here at the start of lap number 3. Argentine driver's going to kind of lose it on the exit of the chicane. That's going to give us a run down the inside here of the sweeping right and left, and we actually managed to get round the outside of the Argentine here. And I just reckon I just got a little bit too enthusiastic, excited here. I wanted to get away from that driver, wanted to have a really good Tetra Rouge and cut the corner massively. And yeah, that picked us up a 1 second penalty, which was going to be pretty devastating when we served that on the second part of the Mulsanne straight. And of course we've got the Argentine driver, who, as I said, a little bit of a bane of my life in this race, going back past us once again. So we served this penalty, didn't really cost us that much, back down to P14. We make up P13 here with Dwight being in the gravel on the first of the Porsche curves. The Mexican that we seen earlier on, he's lost on the exit of the chicane, so that was us up into P12. We managed to scare this Canadian driver off the track, who just forgot to brake for Mulsanne corner. That puts us up into P11, and we're back up behind our Argentine friend as we start lap number 5. So once again, behind the back end of the Argentine's X2019, and finally they're going to lose it just enough here that we managed to sneak by them into Tetra Rouge. Thankfully they don't take us out as they recover to the track, and that was the last where we're going to see Void there, thankfully. A little bit later on in the lap, we've got a run on the TPC driver down towards Mulsanne corner. This one's a bit of an awkward situation because I had to try and outbrake the TPC driver and not kill the Brazilian driver in the braking zone. It all gets a little bit messy, but I would say clean enough, you know, given the circumstances. We're firmly in the slipstream here of the Brazilian on the run down towards Indianapolis. You're going to see the effect of the slipstream here. That's another big problem with this race. The slipstream effect is just so much that you can easily gain 6/10 on the car in front on a straight and blast past them like they are standing still. But that gets us past the Brazilian up into P number 8 as we come down to Indianapolis here for the final time. And to be perfectly honest with you, that should have been it. The Canadian up ahead of Saveno J is 2.4 seconds ahead. Unfortunately for the Canadian though, the GT gods were about to deliver us one final little gift for this one. Under no pressure whatsoever, Saveno J is about to lose it in the final chicane. Not entirely sure what happened. Easy to do though, if you just run a little bit wide you can hit that AstroTurf. We actually nearly lose the car on the exit of the final corner ourselves. However, we managed to get the car over the line ahead of Saveno J and pick up 7th position in this one, which, given everything that happened, all the drama, all the instance, was not too bad of a recovery in the end. Now I think this screen in a lot of ways encapsulates this race. Look at all those red SR downs. It's been a long while since I've seen a race that's quite so severe on the SR. Somehow we walk away with a blue SR, given all the contact we had, albeit most of it not of our own doing. Although I did expect to still see maybe our SR take an impact from that, because the game doesn't always get it right, we know that for a fact. But yeah, hopefully you found that one fairly entertaining. I'm still laughing at the start. I've watched it back a couple of times now and it's just a totally calamitous situation. But if you have enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye now.